Yeah, so if you guys want to find a nice spot on the floor and go ahead and lie on your back. If you can have the camera pointed more or less at you, that's helpful. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. All right, get over. Great. So just begin to feel yourself here on the floor. I'm gonna mute everybody just so we don't end up with background noise, but feel free to unmute yourself at any point. So just feel here how you come home to yourself. What is it like to leave whatever you've been doing and just bring your attention to yourself, to your internal sensations, to your contact with the floor, to the space around you. Feel where do you make contact with the floor a little bit more clearly? Or maybe where do you feel heavier? And where do you feel lighter? Or where do you not make contact with the floor as much? Sense the space around you. So sense the distance from your head to the wall that's above your head, from your feet to the wall below your feet, your right hand, the wall to the right of you, your left hand to the wall to the left of you. And sense that distance from your nose to the ceiling. So you start to orient yourself in space. And then sense your breathing. Just bring your attention to the movement of your breath. So how do you know that you're breathing? Other than the fact that you're alive. What clues you into your breath? Do you feel your belly rise and fall, or your chest? Do you hear your breathing? Do you feel the air going in and out of your nose or your mouth? And place your hand somewhere that you feel your breath strongly, where you feel that movement of your breath. And then place your other hand another place where you can feel your breathing. Just so that you can use your hands to feel that sensation, just as another way to listen to your breath. And this is without changing anything. You don't need to do anything different. You don't need to feel like the way that you're breathing is the wrong way to breathe, but just to start to build a baseline. And then we can come back to this later and see, has anything changed? So this is your lesson. So you do just what's easy, what's comfortable for you. You rest whenever you want to rest. You can always lie on your back if you need to roll onto your side or onto your stomach or get up to walk around or fall asleep or whatever, it is your right and your responsibility to take care of yourself. So now just roll your head a little bit to one side and back to the middle, just where your head goes really easily. Notice which way you chose to roll your head first, and then roll your head in the other direction and see, is that any different? Or does that give you any clue as to why you went the other way first? Beautiful. Leave that. And go ahead and bend your knees, stand your feet. And place your hands on your lower abdomen, your low belly, so below your belly button. And just begin to do this movement of pulling your belly in as you inhale and pushing your low belly out as you exhale. Just what's easy and what's simple. Any of this you can do in your imagination. If it's uncomfortable or if it becomes strenuous. And you just do one cycle and then you pause and then you come back to it. So especially with this breathing stuff, it's not a breathing exercise, it's not breath work, all of those are great things, but we're interested right now in something a little bit different. And that's a more playful, curious exploration of how do you breathe and how can we maybe make that a little bit easier, a little bit more efficient, a little bit more effortless. So just pulling your belly in as you breathe in and pushing your belly out as you exhale. Just really simple and light. And as your chest expands, when you breathe in, feel what directions it moves in. So feel as you breathe in and your chest expands, can you feel that expansion to the back? Can you feel how your chest presses against the floor a little bit more? And can you feel your sides expand? Can you feel the sides of your chest expand to the right and to the left? Just pausing in between each cycle. And if the breathing movements, if they become overwhelming or if you start to feel anxious, you just pause and you rest. Do less. Notice, can you feel how your chest moves upwards and towards your ears as you inhale? And it's probably a little bit less clear because you're pulling your abdomen in, but can you also feel how your lungs want to expand downward towards your feet? And can you feel how your sternum comes towards the ceiling? Your chest expands forward. Pulling your low belly in as you breathe in and pushing your low belly out as you exhale. And then leave that. Lengthen your legs. Just rest for a moment. Then roll onto your belly now. So come to lie on your front. And you can just let your forehead rest on your hands. You have one hand on top of the other. Or however, whatever you need to do so that it's comfortable for you. And come back to that same exploration. So you pull your low belly in as you inhale, and you push it out as you exhale. Pausing between each cycle. And feel which side of your belly presses into the floor more clearly. And you push your belly out when you exhale. And it might be really subtle, so just take a guess. Just feel. And see if you can accentuate that a little bit more. So can you push that side of your belly into the floor even more? And then when you breathe in and your chest expands, can you push the opposite side of your chest into the floor? So it's a diagonal. Still just doing what's simple and what's easy for you. And then try the opposite diagonal. So push the other side of your belly into the floor. As you breathe out and expand the opposite side of your chest into the floor as you breathe in. And then roll onto your back. Leave that. And onto your back. And you can place your hands on your belly just to feel, has anything changed so far, just in the little bit that we've done. Without doing anything intentional to your breath. So this isn't to say that the way we're breathing here is the way that you should breathe in your normal life. Actually, what we're doing is accentuating the disturbances. So the idea being that it's very difficult to practice an ideal way of breathing or to do that intentionally. But what we can do is we can practice the disturbances. And it gives your brain and your nervous system a chance to feel what you might be doing and to feel where it might be unhelpful or where you might be getting in your way. So bend your knees, stand your feet again. And begin to pull your low belly in as you breathe in, and push your low belly out as you exhale. And just feel what happens in your back. How do you feel the contact of your low back with the floor as you do this? So does your back press into the floor as you breathe in and pull your belly in, or as you push your belly out? And take your hands and slide them behind your back. So have your hands resting, or have your hands on the floor, not behind your pelvis, but behind like your belly button, above your pelvis. And you just try that. Pull your belly in as you breathe in, and push your belly out as you exhale. And feel, when do your hands press into the floor. With your hands behind your back, does it make it easier to pull your belly in or to push your belly out? Just feel which one's easier. Still pausing in between each cycle. So our interest is not in the extremes. We're not trying to stretch the lungs or to change the physiology with regard to oxygen and carbon dioxide levels. We're more interested in how your brain, how your nervous system controls your breathing. So what's right, because you're breathing all the time. And so we're not trying to learn a conscious method of breathing. We're trying to help the nervous system find an easier way to do it, in a way that it's automatic. So take your hands out from behind your back. And maybe you can rest them on your low belly, on your pelvis. So maybe so you can feel your hip bones. And again, continue with that idea of pulling your belly in as you inhale, push your belly out as you exhale. And feel what your pelvis does. So when does your pubic bone come forward, as if like you're tucking your tail? And when does your pelvis roll forward or downward, as if you were sticking out your tail? And again, it's subtle, so you just feel what you feel. Good. Leave that, rest for a moment, lengthen your legs. Just sense your contact with the floor. Where do you allow the floor to support you a little bit more? And then bend your knees, stand your feet. And interlace your hands. Place your hands behind your head. And just gently, what's easy, go ahead and lift your head. So bring your elbows towards each other. Look down towards your pelvis, your belly button. And leaving your head here, of course, resting whenever you need to rest, bringing your head down. But otherwise, just trying that here, pulling your belly in as you inhale and pushing your belly out as you exhale. And feel which is easier here. Yeah, so leaving your head lifted. So you come down and you pause and rest whenever you need to. But leaving your head lifted for both the inhale and the exhale. And feel which one is easier. And just do it maybe once or twice and then come down and then try it again. You can let your elbows rest on the floor when you're resting. So just so you notice, just to notice with your head lifted, is that position more conducive to pulling your belly in or to pushing your belly out? And then leave that, let that go. Lengthen your legs, rest. And now come onto your hands and your knees. And place the top of your head on the floor. Good. And yeah, you can leave your hands standing or you can just rest your arms on your forearms, your elbows. But so you feel the top of your head on the floor. And in this configuration, go ahead and pull in your belly as you inhale and push your belly out as you exhale. And first of all, just feel how it's different in this relation to gravity, right? So is it easier in this relation to gravity to pull your belly in or to push your belly out? And you do just what's easy. It's an exploration. It's not an exercise. It's not to do anything repetitively or forcefully. And what happens in your pelvis when does your pelvis want to come towards your feet? And when does it want to come towards the ceiling? When does your pelvis want to tilt as if you were to stick your tail out? And when does your pelvis tilt as if to tuck your tail? So maybe try a little bit as you pull your belly in, let your tail tuck a little bit, and as you push your belly out, stick your tail out. Just what's easy. Just to do that intentionally just a little bit. Good. Leave that, come onto your back and rest. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Right, so it's easy for us to think that the more we do, the more effort we use, the harder we try, the more improvement we'll see. But I promise you, the less you do, the better you can sense yourself. The less you do, the easier it becomes and the more improvement you'll see. Because the less you do, the more sensitive your nervous system becomes. So the more sensitive you can be to what you're doing and to the sensations you feel and to noticing where you're using extra effort, where you're getting in your way. And that's what we're interested in. It's not a conscious process of learning where you memorize facts or you're constantly reminding yourself how you should breathe or that you should pull your belly in or any of that kind of stuff. But the kind of learning that happens organically, that happens in the same way that children learn to crawl or to walk or to talk. When you're ready, come back onto your hands and your knees. Place the top of your head on the floor. And rest your elbows and your forearms on the floor. And put your right knee a little bit in front of your left knee so that it's asymmetrical. And come back to that same idea, pulling the belly in as you inhale, pushing the belly out as you exhale. And feel with the knees asymmetrical like this, with the right knee in front of the left knee, how does that change things? Which side of your belly is able to expand more easily? Still feeling where you can do less. So finding a way that you can be comfortable in this position. And if you're not comfortable in this position, don't do it. Stay on your back or imagine it. Or just do it once or twice and then rest. Feel how the contact of the top of your head with the floor changes. So when does the pressure on top of your head come towards your forehead? As you pull the belly in or as you push the belly out? Just doing what's easy. Great. Leave that and come to rest on your back. Beautiful. So just place your hands on your lower abdomen now. And just feel what's happening there now. Come on to your hands and your knees again. And this time place your left knee in front of your right knee. The top of your head on the floor, your arms, your forearms resting on the floor. And pull your belly in as you inhale, push your belly out as you exhale. And feel which side of your belly expands more easily in this position. Notice what happens in your pelvis. How does the contact of the top of your head with the floor change? Good. Leave that contrast on your back. Bend your knees, stand your feet. You have your hands on your low belly if that helps you to feel. And just once or twice, pull your belly in as you inhale. Push your low belly out as you exhale. Just to see, just still really simple, really easily, without using any more effort, but just to see how that has changed since we started. And then pause for a moment, and now inhale and then hold your breath and see if you can do that movement of pulling your belly in and pushing your belly out while you hold your breath. So you take a breath in and you do a few, like a seesaw, a few movements of pulling your belly in and pushing your chest out and compressing your chest and pushing your belly out. And you do it a few times. And then when you need to breathe, you stop, you take a breath, you pause for a moment. And then you take another breath in, and you do a few more seesaw movements. And feel, can you do that a little bit quicker? Just light and easy. Just plop, 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 plop. Yeah, great. Just what's easy for you. You might hear your belly gargling a little bit as your internal organs move around, as your diaphragm adjusts, reorganizes. And then pause for a moment. And this time breathe out. And without breathing in, see if you can do a few of those seesaw movements. Just slowly at first. So with your lungs empty. You breathe out. And then without taking any air into your lungs, do a few of those seesaw movements. And then see, can you do that a little bit quicker? Not hurried, not with more effort, but just quickly and easily. Beautiful. Leave that, take a rest. Lengthen your legs. Bend your knees, stand your feet. And now see, can you do that seesaw movement of pulling your belly in and pushing your belly out, but without interrupting the movement of your breath, or without interrupting your breathing. So you just breathe in and out normally. And just see, maybe it's a possibility for you, maybe it's not. You just do it lightly and easily, letting your lungs take air in and out as they need to. Great. And then place your hands on your pelvis, on the front of your low belly. And draw your belly in as you inhale. And feel, can you roll your pelvis towards your head a little bit so your low back presses into the floor as if you're tucking your tail. And then as you breathe out and push your belly out, let your pelvis roll downward and forward towards your feet. So as if you were going to stick your tail out so your low back arches and comes away from the floor. Do that a few times, pulling your belly in, and rounding your back into the floor, pushing your belly out as you exhale and arching your back. And notice what happens to the relationship between your chin and your chest, or the distance between your chin and your chest. Beautiful. Let that go. Bring your legs down. Rest. Feel your contact with the floor now. Where does your back make contact with the floor a little bit more clearly than it did at the beginning? Place your hands on your belly or your chest, wherever you had them at the beginning, and just see, without you doing anything intentionally, where do you sense that movement of your breath now? Where do you breathe? Feel the expansiveness of your belly and your abdomen. And just notice now, when you're not doing anything specifically or intentionally, does your low belly expand as you breathe in or as you breathe out? And what's your general overall sensation? Maybe your state or your mood, or has any of that changed? Does any of that stand out to you? Roll your head a little bit to one side and to the other. You just feel that any different now. Beautiful. Slowly, when you're ready, bend your knees, stand your feet. And without using any more effort than you've used throughout the lesson, slowly roll to your side and come to sitting. Slowly make your way to standing. Just stay here in standing for a minute. Maybe with your eyes closed, just take a moment to sense yourself. And feel, you can just let your arms hang at your sides. Feel how your lower abdomen is in standing now. Feel where the top of your head is, the back of your head, the back of your shoulders. And pull your belly in and feel, do you get taller or do you get shorter? And then let your belly out. And feel how that is. Beautiful. Slowly, when you're ready, open your eyes and let the world come in. Take that for a walk around. See how that is. And just feel your low abdomen as you walk. Feel how your legs swing, how your hips move.